I think like the first thing that I should really do is first just welcome anybody like popping on this video. Like first, Awe Brasa. I'm Raf Jim. I know I haven't been saying that like in any of the recent videos, and I just been like jumping straight into the let's plays and all that kind of stuff because I felt like I just needed that little bit of change in that in how I do videos. And I figured like since what's that title card in the beginning of every video, like since that was added in, I feel like it didn't quite need me. But away. Hi guys. I know it's like been a while, and I just like hopped on your feed, and then like bam, he's back, and he's basically the same, doing the same stuff. Usually people change things or switch things up and that, and I kinda did, but like at the moment of recording this is like on the 4th of December, the day before my birthday, which is the 5th. Feel free to like say happy birthday or happy belated birthday if you're that inclined. But just want to say first things first, hi again. I've started uploading and making like content specifically for this channel, and that I'm saying that as if I've made like content on multiple channels before. Nah, that's not like me, or at least I'm trying to change in that manner, and I'll get to that in a moment. But I'm back in content, and for those wondering why, or for anybody that like finds this, I don't know, 2050 or later on in like other people's lives and such, I remember stopping content like I think it was 2023, beginning of 2023, because of studies and that. And I'll be honest, at that time probably for the best. I haven't quite had like the best of experiences around that time. And now this being my very final year, and God willing, hoping and praying, the marks were supposed to be out like on my birthday, and I'm like, they let the stuff out early or something of the sort, and like it still says on the CEO marks, marks get published 19th of December or something of the sort. And I'm still kind of nervous, but like I have this inkling feeling that I did pass. It's just like this one subject that like I'm very worried on how I did. But a lot of my friends say that I'm smart, and I don't believe them. But that's my thing I need to work towards. But my whole process of when I restarted uploading again was like, I think I was watching like one of the other, I'll be honest, like I enjoy like other people's content a lot. I really love myself let's plays. I really love music and that, especially like on other channels and such, because like I'm not making them. I wasn't making them at the time. But like I think it was like at that point, and I saw like this person was like, how do I say now? It's like a very relaxed way of approaching the content for many things, which is like I kind of liked it. And how he mentioned was like he was doing YouTube like after university. He did it while he was in university still, making about the same kind of thing, like stuff on video games and that. And then he just kept at it, and that was like his whole story. Who's this now? I think it's Keith Ballard, whatever his name. I can't pronounce it so well. But it basically just like, how do I say, in a way like shook me. Not in a bad way, but like shook me in a way like, oh my word. I've been worrying about like the perfect moment, the perfect time, the most optimal this and the most optimal that around like creating content, making it, having it out there, doing like statistics kind of vibe, like just most random thinking of how statistics should be. But then it's like I forget like my whole I had this kind of mindset, and I was busy with a lot of my work in my studies is reflective. And then I sat there and I thought, I approach many things like with a shotgun approach. And when I mention it, I mean like the degree and scale of smart, interesting genius to plain out stupid, random bullshit go, and other things in that manner. Like, it's in this broad shotgun approach, in the way like I speak, in the way I reason and talk and think and that. And then it was like, why didn't I just like continue content? And then it was dawned upon me, like, my word, I held myself back from something that I really wanted to do and really enjoyed doing, even though I can probably foresee like tomorrow just saying just showing like to one person or something, if this video gets traction, you could have watched any other of these videos, but you come here and it's me talking nonsense. You are gat and you belong in one too. You can get your whole self licked out and all that, but yeah, just that mindset of like, wow, I remember in high school I wanted to do YouTube in such a way where it was like I had this kind of thing with me where it was it's just like self-image kind of things, like self-image, self-worth, self-value, that kind of things like really tracked on me. And that was mostly the first half of my channel's name, which is Rough Gym. So when I was in high school, I remember wanting to do like a whole YouTube channel that's like a variety of things with my friends and that. And I know, like, wow, high school kid thinking he can be with his friends forever. Yeah, that's never gonna happen, or that's very typical. But trust me, bruh, that's how I reasoned. Like, to a degree, I was very much self-aware, and I thought, like, I knew there were gonna be people that leave my life and like go on their own paths and all that kind of things. Like, no one is going to be attached to you to the hip 100% of the time, unless it's like medical, like unless you are conjoined twin or something. But like, other than that, no one is going to be like parasitic on you and all that kind of things. So I don't know why I said parasitic, but that's just the first thing that comes to my mind. But I remember the channel that I wanted to make with my friends was going to be called Rough Sound, because like I had this mindset already where it's like, I know things are going to be rough, things are going to be not dodgy, but like things are going to be difficult and challenging in the beginning, so rough would make sense. And what I wanted to do was style it very much in the manner of Game Grumps, of Best Friends Play, and that and people in that kind of manner. Those are people that I idolized at the time, even though like I never had Wi-Fi at my own home. I had it at the school. And I remember for in high school where it was like I joined the IT class because I wanted to understand and I wanted to make games and that. Yeah, IT don't teach you how to make games. IT just teach you how to understand coding languages and that, to a degree. So now there in high school, I was in the IT class. What I did was download the videos, and this was before the download option was available on YouTube, or my phone could really carry enough space to download enough videos. It's one of the two, but I know I didn't download it on my phone, no way. So what happens is I would download it on a separate site, make sure I like the videos and that, and download the videos to my PC, move it straight to like a hard drive that I had that was like 6 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes, and then just bring that home, upload that on the family computer or family laptop on like my own personal folder kind of thing, and then watch that whenever I was done with assignments or whenever I procrastinated to do them. It was that kind of variant, like Venn diagram kind of vibe that I had. I still kind of do that. So that was my whole like exposure to YouTube. Not really like watching a video like on the site, like I had to use a separate site to download everything to go watch them again at home, like TubeBuddy or some nonsense like that. But that was like the first half of my character, my channel's name, Raf. And very much took that from high school, bringing that in now. And I feel like I really do live up to that name. I really do. Because I really like that approach where it's like, if you don't know how to make something the way you want it, but you still try to do it anyway, of course it's gonna be rough. Of course it's gonna be a challenge to like really have it be the way you want. But that's part of like any process when it comes to art. And it very much adds that like humanistic side of the artist or of the persons involved. Like what was it again? I think it was like Superman's old catchphrase, up and away, where it was like, because the stories were broadcasted on a radio, they couldn't really like and this is also back in the day, they couldn't really like also add sound effects in that, otherwise people were gonna get confused. So now Superman would always say up and away, and that somehow like leaked into the comics that he had as well. And it's like kind of like, how do I say now, it's like creation impacting on itself, which is like such a beautiful thing to say. But like, I know I'm talking shit and I'm trying to be smart, and it's not like I'm trying to be smart, it's just the stuff that's flowing into my mind, and I'm just excited and rambly, and I'm just like, it's my birthday, hopefully the time this comes up, and like my birthday is soon, and I just want to celebrate like what made me and what made this channel. And the second half of the channel's name, Gem, yeah, that's the initial of my name and my two brothers' names mixed together. So the thing is, when I got my first console, it was the Xbox 360, the white version, or the arcade white version, something of it. You know, most game companies and all that kind of versions that they come out with. So now it was that version that we had, and it had like 250 megabytes. So we couldn't really make a lot of our own individual profiles, or the save game data would like overflow the console, something of the sort. So what happened was we shared one profile. And this profile was called, you guessed it, not Jim, but Midge, you know, for the biological birth dates of myself and my brothers. So it was like Matthew, should I even say their names? Yeah, I said Matthew. I said my oldest brother's name first already. So it was like Matthew, myself, Ezra, and my youngest brother, Joel. Matthew, Ezra, Joel, Midge. Very stupid, but like, it kind of made sense at the time. And I remember like going forward and that to our like we got another version of the Xbox 360 that had like its own hard disk drive built in, that was like 500 gigs or something, and it's like, oh my word, so much storage in such a small device. Meanwhile we sit here with terabytes like on memory cards and that kind of thing. But like, I would like have the profile's name as, I would still have the profile's name as Midge for myself, if I was honest. And then like I changed it to Jim. I was like, I like it. It had a nice ring to it. And thus the channel's name was born. It was created. And it's just those two ideas that are like mixed together that really like stimulated me to really start uploading again. Because like, I really wanted this. I really wanted the opportunity to start uploading. I really wanted the opportunity to start creating content and creating it on the consoles that I absolutely adore, even though Xbox is like, I don't know, running on the deep end or something. But like, that's just how things are, that's how things progress and that. And I remember starting in 2020, I looked at my laptop that I got from my university, that piece of shit laptop that had like 4 gig RAM or something of the sort, a Lenovo that was faulty or something that the university bought en masse. They bought their, I believe they bought their mass stuff, like the laptops, like en masse, and especially on special or something where they knew it was like the not so great ones, was just so it lasts at least for like the everybody's first degree. Sad to say, when your degree is 4 to 5 years, that's not really like the best option for many people. Myself, who made my 5-year degree into a 6-year, because I repeated second year, so yeah, it was a bit of a long journey for me, and I really hope like the chapter kind of closes and I kind of continue with my, how do I say now, my scholarly life or whatever. Whether I do masters or whether I go into just straight up work, I actually don't care where I am in the field. No, not like I don't care. I mean, like, I don't actually care, like, whether I do continue or whether I, how do I say now, stick to just working in the field and that. And if those that are listening are wondering, like, what is it that I study social work. I've been doing pseudo practice, and I say pseudo practice because it's like internships and that kind of thing, from basically 2022, because 2022 like we were at schools for like a couple of hours. We went to schools once a week for a couple of hours and like did group programs and programs with the class in general. 2023 no, that was 2023, sorry. 2022 and 2023 kind of like I'm mixed on that, because 2022 was COVID, 2023 was the school, yeah. 2024 I went and worked for the Department of Social Development for like a month, and then I switched places because like that supervisor was giving me hell for no reason, and I honestly believe they were expecting like someone that actually knew general social work practice instead of just like the counseling methods and that kind of stuff, because like I knew my theory when it comes to psychology, counseling, social work, intervention and that, but it's like they were expecting somebody that actually applied those kind of principles in it, and I haven't done that yet. That was supposed to be my first year, my first experience in that. I didn't quite like it, so then I moved to didn't quite like it, and I didn't like my supervisor. A woman made a client cry, and I'm like, I don't want to be part of this. I can understand like giving your clients a reality check now and then, just to make them aware, like, yeah, just to make them aware, to help develop self-awareness and that, but like, you don't make a client cry. That seems like the worst thing you could ever do. And then I moved to League of Friends of the Blind, an organization for people that are blind and visually impaired. So that was the remainder of that year of 2023. Sorry, 2024. Then now, this year of 2025, 2024 was a full day of the week that you were there, and our 2025 was 3 days of the week, because like we still have classes, we still have electives. Thankfully, this year of 2025 of our Lord and Savior allowed me to work 3 days a week at my internship, 2 days being just for your theory modules, which are just social work modules. So like, again, your interventions modules, your ethics module, your social, with us we had social policy and planning, because we still need to be aware of like what of the factors that impact a person. Supervision, which was not really my cup of tea, but like I'm hoping that's the module that like I pass. And then field work and research, those were like our 2 year-long modules. The remainder were like was first half of the year. But yeah, that has been like basically my academic schedule for them from 2023 up until now. I hope things are going well on your side. But focusing back on the channel, like I mentioned like in the beginning that of not really doing multiple channels and different kind of variations on stuff. I hate to break it to you, I have started a second channel, and there's no content on it yet as of speaking, but I'll probably link it in the description and probably put it in a comment. I hope I learn to do that, just to help stimulate communication and that. Yeah, I'm not really one that's great with online communications. I mostly delete apps after making friends on it, and then it's peace, because life gets to lifing, and I'm just can't really if it's not really face to face, if there's no pure contact with the person, I cannot really believe that they are actually my friend. That kind of thing. I know it sounds bad, but it's that's how my mind is wired. And it's I need to hear the person's voice, I need to see the person's face. And I'll be honest, I have spoken to many people within the furry community, but my word, if it's not artists trying to sell their skills to you, which is good, it is very good to be a open with seeking new clientele and all that kind of things. But it's if my only communication is basically that for people trying to sell their services, yeah, I'm fine with just posting what I got and that. And I really thought if I communicate to other people, I can network, and then my channel will grow through their how do you say now, their input and all the kind of bits and pieces. But I was nah, that's kind of a selfish way that I've been doing to other people. And then it was also a selfish way that people was doing unto me. And it's just I had a sour taste of the fandom and its community. And then it was it's fine, I'm fine, I'm being a bystander and just sitting on a fence watching how things both flourish and burn simultaneously. It's a beautiful thing to see sometimes. But it's nice seeing there's still good that comes out of people. And they were there was even a workshop that I saw one of the content how to say, not content creators, but one of the furry artists were going to speak at. And then there was a beginning lecture that was not going to be that was the only thing that was not going to be accessible via a Zoom meeting or something. And I was oh, I really wanted to learn that, because working at a school and that kind of thing is just broadening my understanding of with that it was the queer understand, it was a social work professor and another person in the same field communicating on how to work with clients that are queer and from the LGBT community and all that kind of things. And I thought that would have been so useful, especially for the school, because I did have at one point a client who was LGBT IQI plus or something. I don't know all the letters and symbols. I'm not a mathematician, but it would have been very vital information, just for empathic entry into their world, that kind of thing. And it's things like that that I really find so interesting. They, of course, there's a lot of the younger people, or the people that are very much focused on it's the art, it's the characters, but it's it's the people overall. Even though the people like me who's very much who's silent but have a voice that's very willing to really listen to others, and then still express myself in specific ways. Even now it's I could never speak like this on one of my videos, because it's oh, not that I could never, it's just I struggle to speak like this because my attention is split. And what I can really focus on is if I have somebody next to me, or if I'm speaking to someone, and I'm very much an extroverted introvert, I can work well with people, groups, and all that kind of things. But if I have personal time and just a little bit of me time, I tend to extend that type of time, I'm doing now. Oh my word, how much time is this? And I was supposed to say about my second channel. So yeah, my second channel that is in the works is basically it's again gaming and that, but it's going to be more focused on scripted things, video essays or challenge runs and that kind of thing, but edited more formal content that people are used to. like that kind of vibe. I think like I love Senza and his challenge runs, but there's no way I can edit my stuff like that. Like my PC already gives up with the amount of stuff that I already put on. That's why like you saw like in the first couple of videos, like I added like clips and that, but then it was like killing my PC, and I'm like, okay, fine, I can work around this, I can figure out a way. But yeah, that's basically what my second channel is gonna be about, just focusing on more structured content and less free form like the one that I have now. You know, I'm sitting here and I have like 3 points and I keep jumping in between them, but I have this that says how studies have been going, and I feel like that has been said a lot, but I very much want to say this to like, if not to people out there, but to my younger self. Like I remember like growing up, I say growing up, but I mean like I remember like growing up in like orchestra and in music and that. And let me tell you this, my family is not professional musicians. We are not like classical musicians and that in that manner, but like we play well. We have a good sound. We have things that are very much like unique to us, man. And how that sits with me is like I can play by ear and I can also read music. And what's very funny is like I can adapt very quickly. I mean, right now I'm basically restarting to learn violin, and I got this violin last year September. I tried practicing sometime in the beginning of this year, but studies like grew too hectic. And now it's like here in my room and I restarted practicing again, and then it's like I can pick things up fast, but to master them takes a little bit of time, which makes sense for most things. But it's like I can really play like my chromatic scale from like the G string, which is okay. Stop laughing, I heard somebody laugh. The G string, which is like the lowest string on there, to the E string, which is the highest one. Like I can play from that ranges. I can play my whole chromatic scale on that, or at least like I kinda do, because like I still get my fingerings kind of like switched up in that. But like with my studies in that, like remarkably I've been a good how do I say now, I might not be like I'm not an A student. Let me just tell you that I am no A student, but I'm not like completely ignorant of my work, or I completely don't know anything about the work that I do. So now because of my introverted extrovertedness and very much my I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of social skills in that, but it doesn't really filter well through the camera or through the videos. But like because of my social skills in the class and that, I was like the class representative or co-class rep. Always have like another person with you. For one of those years, I think it was 2024. Yes, 2024. I was class rep, and I did a very good job with like the communication between the students and the lecturers. But then it's like I'm not sure if the students actually liked me, even though like I solved a lot of problems. The other person was more of a oh my word, I got a message that popped up that was a bit urgent or something, or like it took my train of thought. But like my connection like between the class and the lecturers was good, and like I still remember it was this year we had a lawyer advocate, Dion Reiters, who like saw my work in the class, because I'm also technically like the class audio visual technician and that, because like I somehow know more about sound and visuals, which makes sense because of YouTube and that. But he kind of watched me, and then he saw like he asked, am I not the class rep or something? No, he asked first like, am I the class rep? I'm like, oh. I was like, no, not this year, I was last year. And then it's like, oh, because like I kind of see like a lot of the people like kind of look up to you, they kind of look to you like if there's like an issue or a problem, or like that's not just like for the audio visual, that's very much like when there were things stated, where there were things said, they kind of look to me to like just figure something out in a way or a manner. So like, I don't know, people have high expectations for me. I just laugh at the end of this year and then the years to follow. Like, I completely disregard social work and go straight into YouTube and straight into art. Yeah, I had a good rapport, like especially with my lecturers, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people like talk about university and they talk about like how terrible the staff is and like how difficult and challenging the work is, and like they felt that the lecturers had no idea, no grasp, no concept of how things are with them and how things are challenging and are so removed. Meanwhile, my whole experience is like how much the lecturers long for the learners, wow, for the students to communicate with them, to express their concern, and that like just that drive and that. And I think it's because of the field that we're in. We're very much human centric, regardless of like what space we are in, because like I know we fill up many spaces. People don't understand social work happens in many areas, from corporate sectors to schools like I was in, yes, general practice, but then we also go into the medical field, like, you know, dealing with clients who need, with patients that need to go into additional facilities, or like they need to communicate with family and friends and like help just like make a process of like, say for instance the person gets amputated, they can just like again, counseling service and that. Even though it's secondary there in many of these areas, it's just like just help empower the people, bring them together, and just give them the necessary like strength and hope for them to continue and go forward. And that's basically like the whole premise of social work. And I know for a fact someone is gonna come and, no, but social work means this, and I looked it up on ChatGPT, because you can't even say Google anymore, because even Google uses AI like for its search engine first before showing you the websites that's involved in it. But yeah, that has been like my whole experience in the class. And that, even like, I'm saying a lot of good things because like I really want to avoid getting bad, because like, let me tell you something I mentioned way earlier in advance of like, I have self-image issues, I have self-concept issues, and that, and I'm gonna be honest, I do. And many people like don't understand or just can't believe it, given how much I know in many areas, but like they're kind of left a feeling of like, I know a lot of many things, but like I'm not really an expert in them. And I feel like now this year, because I'm turning 24, I've been studying since I left high school. That was age 18. Yes, my degree really like filled up a lot of time and a lot of energy and that. And then it's like I see like my family's also like getting annoyed and anxious of me just staying home and that. But it's like it's been 6 years of just constantly working, constantly thinking of the next assignment, constantly thinking of the next batch of work, the next batch of clients that I had to deal with. And I mentioned like in the Evil Within video that in total this year alone I had a joint total with my fellow colleagues, which were we were 6 altogether. We had a total of 90 clients that we saw, and that's a lot, especially like if it's just a bunch of students like working on their counseling skills and therapeutic skills, and like in some cases coming out of our shells and just like doing work and that, where we don't get really paid for any of this. But yeah, that's our thing, that's our case. That is basically like my whole studying career wrapped up in a nice blanket, where it's like there's a lot of things that it built within me, but like the monetary or the physical aspect was like I don't even have like a proper bursary. My bursary just dropped. My bursary, or like the people that covered my studies, like they just dropped me this year. They took forever to get the money through and that. And in their contract and that, it mentioned that I was supposed to like how do you say, have an opportunity to like open up for an internship there and that, but then it's like they remain silent and they're just like, here's your money, we're just gonna go. And we communicated with him like for a week after registration on things like that, and they just never came back. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, it's a media company, not really a social working or psychology or counseling and that. Maybe they need it in HR or something, but who knows, But yeah, now I'm like at the end of this year just waiting on a letter that shows like I've completed my course. Then I can just add it to my CV and then look at the places that I want to work. Because like my family is recommending stuff, but they're recommending the most stupid things you ever imagine. Like someone working at McDonald's encouraging people to buy this, buy that, and all that kind of things. And I'm like, that's something that you ask somebody that's maybe like got matric and like people skills, but not somebody who got a degree in freaking social work. It's most utter rubbish. But moving forward and speaking more of this channel, yeah, I am willing to upload on this, and I am willing and able to try and like do more for this channel, because I really love what I'm trying to do. I really love like the fact that I'm challenging myself. I'm doing something extra. I'm not just Ezra the student. I'm not just Ezra the social worker, the counselor, the person that has a work or a job that doesn't pay them or something. I am a creator, and I do love this. And it's like I did mention earlier in this, and very much in many instances of my videos, and that I am a musician. I love music. I love the fact that I can make a good sound. I was never as confident or as understanding when it came to my music and that. Like I remember I always thought like, oh, I just play French horn, and then like I had to walk back, and this year was when I realized it, and I'm like, brother, you play French horn. Most people can't even get the tune of a song correctly. Yeah, you playing French horn, can play things by ear, can harmonize and find melodies and stuff with people that you stand around with and that kind of things. And you saying you just play French horn, or French horn isn't that interesting. Yeah, I know I've started with violin, but like, come on, self-worth, develop that, and still developing. But yeah, that's just my whole thing when it came with music. But like here on this channel, I am uploading, and I want to upload, and I want to add this to my to me, because very much when it came to music and that, it always attached itself with exams, with another thing that had to have marks added to it. That was everything when it came to me and music. But going forward, I'm just gonna upload. I'll try my best to upload 3 times a week, and like a different thing each day. I know I kind of been stagnating and showing like 3 or 4 videos of the same game and that, but I wanna like go forward in that. I know for a fact I'm not playing Dead Island until next year, because like yeah, I got cut full of it. And I feel like that's a good thing to just hop back into every like October or something. Hope and pray there's enough time to record and all that kind of things in between. And for content you're gonna look up or look forward to, definitely an RPG or something long for this channel, because I know Assassin's Creed is like a chapter 5, but it's like every one sitting I have finishes an entire sequence or sequence and a half, and then it's like, oh, it's done, okay, no fanfare, no nothing. That's basically my whole thing. But yeah, I have an idea of like what kind of games I want to play, but I know like for a fact I want to finish Evil Within, then I'm gonna finish Assassin's Creed, and then I'm gonna most likely do what you call it now. There's a game that I have, Monster Tamers or something of the sort. Like Monster Ranchers or Monster Sanctuary. Future me, if you can, please put a picture of the game's cover on there. So it's that, Spiritfarer, I don't know their names. There's like another 2 or 3 more, but like I'll just show the pictures there on top, and it will just be like me deciding whether or not like I want to play these games, because like very much I can go midway through a recording and I can just start feeling like, and I'll say this in the recording, like I don't want to play this actually. I wanna, let's just leave this here as is and then go on our merry way. Yes, oh yes, Mass Effect, but like a challenge run. But I want to record like my reactions and that kind of stuff to it, like on this main channel. Yeah, and like probably absorb more of the lore and that of the game, because like I know a lot of the game, I know a lot of the series, and I know like it's coming up with a new game soon-ish, probably next year or the following year, depending if GTA drops or not. A lot of companies are so afraid because, you know, was your too big to fail game will actually fail if there's actual competition or like something that you know people are expectant for. But like, yeah, I have a lot of strong feelings, I mean, of that coming up, but I don't want to like share it so soon. That's where you hear the don't have kind of stuff. That's why I said don't have, I mean. But I have a lot of strong feelings on that game and whether or not it must come out, and I'm probably gonna make a video on the second channel like explaining what and all that kind of things. But I do hope I can make a playthrough on that, like on the channel's run, like its hardest difficulty and on its weakest class, or the class that people like played the least on. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, and I really hope I get to do that and soon, because maybe or not, maybe I do, maybe I don't, but yeah, that's all I can say like for this content and like going forward, and whether or not like I still continue. But not whether or not, I mean I am gonna continue. Like, I mean, when I say whether or not, like for the current let's plays that I have, and that I mustn't get too intimidated and such. But still, word for the wise, like I don't know if I can take any recommendations in that, or whomever is listening up until this point. It's like at minute 47, 48, technically 48 because I'm rounding off the number. Like, if this gets edited and cut, then that makes sense, because yeah, I'm like that. Just overall, thank you. Like, I know I'm not the flashiest YouTuber. I know I don't have like the greatest range when it comes to like content and that, because like I said, it's rough. It's going to be rough, and I feel like that encapsulates me a lot. Like, I don't mind getting rough. I don't mind it being hard and challenging and like uneasy in the beginning and that. But for those watching and that, and for those still sticking around, thank you. I say this a lot, and this thought always pops in my mind, like, who on earth is still watching at this point? And I make jokes on that, but like I kind of feel like I need to lighten the load in my mind. But I don't want that to sit now with me and be like, Isra, you being rude to the persons that actually sat and watched through. It's like, I'm sorry. But genuinely, thank you for hopping on, for seeing who this guy is, what he's about and all that, for actually hitting subscribe, actually liking now and then, and actually like witnessing the content get uploaded and such. Because it might not look like it to some, and to many it might just seem like, oh, you're just doing let's plays, everyone and their mother has tried it, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, you don't need to do anything. In matter of fact, you don't need to do a single thing. You can just exist, and that's fine. But what you want to exist, or what you want to be attached to your existence, all depends on you. Like, it's fine if you want to be like, I want my names to be on bright bold lights, and like people must know my face and know my reputation and like just be excited for my existence. That's also fine. That's a thing that like I always loved about like stars. When I say stars, I mean movie stars and that kind of thing. But like everybody knows they have like their own backstory, their own troubles and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe you want to just be that kind of person that sits at the beach, that has a whole lake side property where you can just like have a small little boat that you like row into the middle of it, and like you fish and you just sustain yourself like that alone with, I don't know, a family or just yourself. And it's fine. It's all you just existing in there. It's all you, and it's just fine for things if it's just settled down, or if it's just calm. But like I always keep my birthdays to myself, and like I tried to be like, oh look everybody, it's my birthday, that wasn't quite genuine for myself. But it's just like I love the thought of just like you exist, and like what you want existing around you, you can just have it happen, whether it's just like connecting more with people or just removing yourself and being more deep into solidarity, or just making something. I'm always love just making things, and I'm happy I'm able to do it. And I'm thankful that like regardless of who is watching and how many, and I'm saying this now to myself now and to my future self, it's fine and it's all good regardless of who and how many is watching, that you create something good and decent, and or decent. Doesn't have to be flashy, doesn't have to be the next big thing, doesn't have to be like you reinventing the wheel. And this can be like for any personal thing or anything that's great, and that is just like, yeah, I'm happy that I'm able to like say happy birthday to myself, and to that. And if anybody like says happy birthday and that in the comments, thank you, even though you are a gat for watching this instead of the remainder of the content. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in again. I hope to see you in the next one. Later, brasa.